Hey fellas, Rusty coming at you. Hey, this one's hot off the presses. Hot off the presses? Yes, this is a Rough Rider, and it's their 30th anniversary edition in the gun stock. They're going to call it the Checkered bone. I call it a gun stock bone. It's very similar to, well, what they call gun stock bone. I have one of these. I have several. This is RR2628, and I want to say these were about 2010 on that, and you can see it's the same pattern. A little prettier. I like how the bone, see that brown? It's got some reddish. I think it's the same color, but they just kind of finished it the way, oh boy, isn't that pretty? Right? We don't want it black all the way. We want some, we want to be able to tell it's bone. And I'm not shooting outside. It's windy. It's cold. We got, I don't know, a ton of snow out there. So let's take a peek, if we can, at the 30th anniversary. We got the cowboy riding the horse. We got R, reverse R tank stamps. Says Rough Rider under it. Excellent fit and finish. That's looking just great. Feels superb. It does have some stiff action. I actually very rarely, I mostly will take my brand new knife and just run it under warm soapy water. I'm looking at this top swedge right here. But on this particular one, and we'll find a model number. I'm doing an unboxing at the end of this, but on this one, it was catching, and I took and sprayed some WD-40 right in there, and then, and the WD-40 kind of lingers, kind of likes to linger, and then it gets on your fingers and makes this fingerprint machine. Okay, so if the gaps, what we actually have is this spring goes lower. So these aren't gaps, it's a height adjustment. This spring is a little bit lower than the liners. I suppose I could remedy that by sanding them down to be more flush. But I think the actual gaps, they're not bad. There's a little more room between here than right here. Geez, that's just practically seamless. Hopefully you guys can see that. So, all right, back to the blade. Mine's got a pretty stiff opening, but good snap, good pull strength on that. So here's how we look. You can see how the gun stock bone has changed a little bit. You can see, let's focus in on the shield here. That's a pretty sweet shield. This was not any kind of an anniversary knife. And this is a newer shield. I think they have this on their Bluegill series that's out now. We're gonna break out my Rough Rider. And this doesn't have to be used for Rough Riders. Here's a Rosecraft blade. I got canoes in the back. But notice, let's talk about this. So this is a 30th anniversary edition, and it's not the, what it is it's a teardrop. It's an easy open jack, but I went ahead and got two of these. Maybe these are patterns you don't see very often. And that would be just a single bladed with like it's almost like, well, it's just a teardrop jack. I showed you guys this one yesterday. Since I shot the video with all the Colt knives, this was released in 2015, and hopefully I can get that. This is their 20 year. This is the 30 year. So they do that up here. They do the 30th anniversary, but they didn't do that anywhere on here. But instead, I should say 20 years right there. And they did it on the Shield, and they released these in 2015. It's the same knife. And I really do think that they just don't release this pattern that often. I believe it's more of a celebratory type of a pattern, a collectible. This is also very useful and handy. I've used it. I've scratched it up. I actually have picked up a couple more of these just because I like the way they fit in the hand. Will I get another one of these? I actually paid more money for this than I did for this. This is $17.99 right now. I think that's a really good buy for this pattern at this level of finish. Mine is kind of sticky, kind of okay, but other than that, I think this will break in. Ooh. And if it breaks in anything like this, oh, that's just, I love that. That one is some very satisfying action. So take a look at those two. You can see the slant bolsters, the R bolster. No slant, no R. That's how we're looking here. And I know I got a lot of fans of buckshot bone, but I am a bigger fan of gunstock bone. I love the browns in it. Although this gunstock has that red underliner, which is nice. Same thing here. Looks a little like a gap. And it may be a gap. But blade centering, this one's a little bit. So this is the worst of the three I have because, well, I use it. And so the other two I set aside. And yeah, I might hold on to this. I encourage you guys to think about picking up one, especially at $17.99. I might get another one just to try to get a better example out of there, one with softer action. I think I've seen one other review out there on this. And yeah, would be nice if the action was better on this without having to break it in myself. So, hey, we're going to include a unboxing at the end. So if you want to see that, then stick around. Thanks, guys. All right, fellers, we're going to take a peek at the unboxing here. Comes in this nice tin. I paid $17.99 for it. Of course, you got to pay shipping. Model number. So on these, they do a tin. They're pretty special. A lot of these would just come in boxes. So take a peek at that. And very nice presentation. So thanks for joining me.